Yeah.
right, and then we walk into the house. We usually use the back door as opposed to the front door because it was easier. So this is the front door of the house, and then we come around to the back door. It's all on different levels. Go through into the kitchen. This is where he used to do a lot of cooking. He was a very good cook.
Was he a very good cook?
Very good cook, yes, fantastic cook. He did all the catering for his brother's wedding, in fact. Everything, including the wedding cake. Walk through it. Yeah, up more steps. A couple more. That's quite a recent photograph. That's a recent one. That was in about May, I think, before he died. These are our recent photographs of the family.
And when was this?
That was taken on his 75th birthday. So that was taken last October. Just 4 months before he died. Come through into the dining room and the lounge. And if it was winter, he'd sit downstairs. So in the winter, I know it's the winter now, but I haven't got one lit. He would always sit on this chair because this was his chair, so he sat here, and we'd always have a fire going there because it's a wood burner. At the moment, unfortunately, it's not lit. Should have done that. That was painted for him by somebody at the art college whose wife used to be Leonard's secretary at one time, I think. So it says for Len Dixon on it.
The Year's First Rain by J.P. Clark. Leonard Dixon from South Africa reads it here.
Rain comes. After long surcease in desert, rain comes. Hot breathing, alert, and swift to thunder rolls and claps, with kestrel together leaf flaps. And earth all the while waiting, waiting inert, fallow and burdened with stone, shudders to her rump, tingles to the trump of the long missed one. Now with more than tongue can tell thrusts, he strokes her, swamps her, enters all of him beyond her fell, till in the calm and cool after, all alone, earth yawns, limbers her stay, swollen already with a life, to break at day.
Leonard Austin Dixon was born in South Africa on the 8th of October 1931 in a closely knit lower middle class family on Carlisle Street in the Maitland area of Cape Town. His father was Wilhelm Dixon and mother Julia.
His parents, as I understand, were illiterate. Throughout his education, he had to fund himself because there was no funding. So if you wanted to be educated, you had to win scholarships. And so he won scholarships throughout his entire primary, secondary education, coming to be head boy finally. And then he went on to do teacher training initially, which he did in Cape Town, again funding himself, as you had to take loans for everything.
He grew up in a relatively poor family, shared a bedroom with his brother, and they shared a chest of drawers. They had a metal bath that they'd bring in from the yard for weekly baths in the home. Most people left education his cultural setting aged around 12. But I think these are sort of the first signs of Dad's character that he was determined that he would achieve. And he was determined that he would achieve at 12, and won scholarships to continue his education, and ended up becoming head boy at Trafalgar High School.
Under the apartheid regime of South Africa, the Dixon family was classified as other coloured.
One of the things he did say was that he was quite light-skinned, and he used to be very proud of the fact that he could pass himself off as Egyptian and go into white bars. And my father was a lot darker than his brother Epstein, and he said that he remembered that Epstein used to be able to get into the white swimming pools, whereas he wouldn't be able to get in, he'd have to stay outside. And he said he remembered being outside and Epstein sort of waving to him over the edge of the swimming pool wall as he was stood outside. And he said subsequently he remembered another incident where he'd hit his brother with a golf club, which he said that he told his mother that he'd done it accidentally, but he said, actually I think I did it as a result of him being able to get into the white swimming pool.
It was very difficult because it wasn't the accepted norm. His parents weren't at all keen for him to carry on because they needed the money in the home, of course, and his elder brother was working, but they did allow him to go.
So, against all adversity, he managed to hit targets, the high targets that he set for himself, and I think throughout his life he was forever setting high targets and achieving them.
Even after his mother died in 1950, Leonard, though young of age, did not stray from his desire to become a teacher. Subsequently, he joined the faculty at St Philip's School in the early 50s. He taught for 10 years in Cape Town.
After teacher training college, he then decided that he'd go into the church, and he trained for the priesthood within the Anglican Church. And after 2 years, at the end of the 2 years, he got the highest mark throughout the whole of South Africa, coloured and white students, and they thought he was going to be the first coloured bishop. But he decided that it wasn't for him, and he withdrew.